Hi, Joe Cerrone. In this video we're going to model this shaft for our belt roller assembly. If we look at the drawing, we have both inch and millimeter dimensions, and so this would be our shaft. It's about 2 inches, 3 inches long. Then we have this circular hole and another hole that intersects that. And the way that he's gone and modeled this is by creating different solid cylinders and then subtracting the geometry, 3D moving it into place as cylinders, and then we'll place it into the roller assembly. Alright, so let's get started. So I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to name it shaft. Select the color of your choice. Make that current. I think I'm going to change that because it's too close to the last color. Then we're going to create the models for that. We'll create this cylinder with a radius of 2.36, 0.236, and a height of 0.591. We'll create another cylinder with these radiuses. And it looks like we can just acquire it. 0.354, 1.969, and then one more time. .236, 0.591, and then what we'll do is we'll create another cylinder and we'll drive it through the center, but we're going to union them first. And so we'll union, which will glue these parts together. I'm going to change the color. I'm going to draw another cylinder, acquire this surface, and glide over and grab the center O snap, and that's going to be a radius of 0.118. And then that's going to go down 1.772. Change the visual style to see it. And then we'll subtract that and 3D rotate it into the right orientation. Verify that with conceptual view. It's a little hard to tell. Let's try an X-ray. Yep. Okay, so that part's good. Alright, we're going to create another cylinder, and then we're going to locate it at this position, and the radius is going to be 1.118. and that's going to be 1.181 inches. And then what we're going to do is we're going to move that, and it doesn't seem to care which side we move that to. So let's 3D rotate this. And you notice I have ortho on, so it just snaps into place. Apparently it did not subtract that from there. So let's undo that. Go into a wireframe, subtract that. All right. Now it's been subtracted. 3D rotate. And then we'll orientate this component. We'll say move. Move from the center. We'll acquire the center here. Then we'll move it up in the z-axis 0.591. 3D move. Grab the z-axis 0.591. And then we'll move it again 1.575 along this red axis. And we'll type that in, 1.575. And then we'll subtract that from the other shape. I'll clear the grips, subtract, select the larger boundary shape, enter, select the cylinder, and there we have it. Shift middle mouse wheel. Continuing. All right, we're going to put the assembly together. And they're just moving these with object snaps. And so as we take a look at this, we can move this. And so they do have exact positioning for it. We'll just bring it from this end here to the center position right here. And then what we could do is measure the length of this part. Let's move that out. And then just move it in halfway. So if we measure the length with the distance command, and we measure the distance from this center point to this center point, we can see that that's 3.151. And so we'll move this from the center to the center. And then we'll 3D move it along this axis, half of 3.151. .577, 1.5755. And we'll hit escape. Doesn't look like that's the exact spot for it. So let's move this in. And then we're just going to move this over about 0.785. All right, we're going to take this assembly and put it together. We're going to basically move this from the center of the shaft to the center of this circular feature here. We'll just use the regular move command. Select a crossing window. Acquire this center point. Acquire this center point. If I turn off my ortho, it'll move a little bit more fluidly. And then we can move this over. 3D move, P for previous selection set. Grab this. Take an isometric view. And then we'll save this as our belt roller assembly. Shaft, and that's going to be at 0.078. Solids, chamfer edge, distance, .079. Select this edge. Shift middle mouse wheel. Select this edge. Didn't seem to take. Looks like I was able to get one of them. Let's try the other side. Here we go. And then we'll chamfer the holes with a .040, and it'll just make it easier to assemble and put bolts through it. That's a common practice. We'll select this edge here. Doesn't seem to be, it seems to be glitching, so I'll do them one at a time. All right, put this on our title block. Double click in the viewport. C for zoom, A for all. There it is. Grab a southeast isometric view. Looks like they've got theirs orientated northwest. Northeast. Set the visual style for that. Update the title block, and then save the file. That completes this video.